Hi there. How is everyone doing today? Let me cut off the music. Hopefully, everyone's doing well today. I am here live. Can everyone hear me fine and see me fine? Let me know by telling me in the chat box. Let's see who's here. I didn't expect a whole lot of people to be able to watch this while I do it live because I didn't announce anything. I just said, you know what, let me do this impromptu. Even though I did have it planned since last week that I was going to go live at some point this week to talk about this very important topic about these online job scams, namely the ones involving checks. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Okay, everyone's saying that they can hear me loud and clear. Yay! I love it when my technology works. Now, we just got started. So, y'all, if you've ever caught any of my lives, I always have some little friction with technology, but we get past it. So, bear with me because today I'm going to show y'all some videos, some examples of news stories that have come out about this topic. So I pray that my audio comes through for these videos. I'm going to go ahead and get like a test video up just so we can make sure that y'all can hear the videos and me at the same time, because I want to show y'all these examples. Now, if you are like, what's a fake check scam, Delilah? Like, I'm new to this. And even if you're not new to this, you may not have come across this before. But there are a lot of online scams, a lot of them. And I've talked about several different types of scams. I'm always sort of touching on that topic. And every video that I share with y'all when I'm talking about these hot leads, I try my best to give y'all some, places you can sort of check out the company on your own for you to verify if the jobs are in fact legit. Now, I will never put something in front of y'all that I know is not legit or that I have not checked out and my team hasn't always checked out. I will always do my due diligence. But y'all have seen my videos where I'll show you like their Glassdoor account and I'll show you like their homepage and, point out their careers page. I do this all the time because it's sort of wrapped around the bigger topic of like making sure that you're looking at legit jobs. And I want y'all to always do this too when you're looking for online jobs. So that's what we're going to talk about today because it's getting out of hand. It's getting way out of hand. Now let me see what y'all are talking about in the comments. So let's see. It's Friday afternoon. I figured most folks are either at work or maybe this is your lunch break. I appreciate it if you can only just pop in for a few minutes. I get you. You can always watch the replay. If you can't stay for a whole live, it's okay because YouTube always adds it after the fact on my channel. But you have to click the live tab. They don't put it where all the videos are. It's in its own separate tab. So I understand if folks got to jump on and jump off. But let's see who's here. Okay. Let's see. All right. I don't know how to say your name. Jerome. Hi. Okay. DJ Panama on the ones and twos. Dakota. Hey, how you doing? Roller skate cruising. That's what I need to do. It's a beautiful day. I need to get me some roller skates and exercise because I got to trick myself into it. I have to do fun things like Zumba or dancing or something. So I want to roller skate. Okay. Hey, Doreen. How you doing? Lawandle. Sorry if I'm saying all the names wrong. Hey, Jenny, Ebony, Kiana. Okay. Did I say Dakota already? I may have. Hey, Tony. All right. How you doing, Tia Proverbs 31 woman? That's right. Okay. Deasia, Kimi. Hey, Ebony. Hey, Lexi. How y'all doing? Hey, David. Hey, Charisse. Hey, and Mickey. And Snipes Entertainment. How y'all doing? Okay. Now, I'm not, let's see. Okay, everyone can hear me. Thank you on the compliments on my hair. It took me forever to braid it. I did my own braids. I did it. Yes, I did. It took me from Wednesday to Saturday. Like if I sat down and had the whole time to just do it, then it would have gone a lot quicker. But you got to work and mom life and wife life and all that. So I'm braiding and then I get up and I go do something else. So it took me a while, but I finished it. And these are hopefully going to stay in all summer long. But I'm one of those people who likes to change my hair every 7 business days. So I have to resist the urge. Okay. Thank you for being able to catch a live, Ebony. Yes, I go live randomly. I always say I'm going to do it, more consistent. And then it just turns into like whenever I get on, I get on. Okay. So some of y'all may have experienced this before where you have either been asked to cash a check or you have actually done the check cashing. Now, let me pull up just a test video to make sure that before I actually get into sharing these videos with y'all, that the audio and everything is crystal clear. So I am going to go to my channel and I'm going to test out playing one of my videos. So we can make sure that everyone can hear it when I play the audio. So let's see. Present. Share screen. It says it's easier with 2 monitors. Oh, let me see. I can do that because I have my laptop. So I can just open it up. See, you're not supposed to do anything new when you're doing something. So bear with me, y'all, if I disappear for a little bit. Okay. We still see me. I see me. And my laptop is over there. Okay. So I have to look right here to see what y'all are doing. All right, I'm going to share my screen and let's see what happens. Oh, that's how I do it. Okay. The browser can't access my screen. I'm going to try one more thing with the dual screen setup that I have, because I'm using my, my monitor, and I have my laptop open. So that's how I'm doing the dual screens, but I'm trying to see if I can make it work. No, it's not working that way. Okay, so I'm gonna close this. If I disappear, I'll come right back. Okay, so I couldn't do it with the two screens with my laptop and my other screen. And it's fine. I can still share it. I just wanted to be able to still see y'all while I share the screen, but it's okay. So I'm gonna share my screen. Y'all can see me, but I can't see you when I do this. Oh no. See, I told y'all something is saying, what's it saying? It says, the browser can't access my screen. Try capturing a different screen to see if this continues. Maybe if I just do the tab or the window. Okay, there we go. Got it. I told y'all, if I run into any friction, just bear with me. We'll get through it, okay? So I'm just going to do a test video to make sure that that you guys can hear the sound and see the screen. And I'm going to try it with this. Okay, so I'm just going to play yesterday's video from my channel, and I'll come back after like 15 seconds, but I want to make sure that y'all can hear the audio. Okay, so were y'all able to hear that audio from the video? Let me know in the chat if y'all could hear that. Oh, it was no sound? Okay. There was no sound. All right. I'm going to try plan B. Video file. Okay, so I'm going to try maybe downloading these videos from YouTube. And we can chat while I do that. So the videos I'm going to show, and I have my little notes right here. There are 4 videos, and I'm going to download these so that I can just play them from my computer, and hopefully the audio will play that way. But the check scams that you'll hear about or see going on, they typically require you to just, let me back up, okay? So when you're looking for an online job, you might come across an opportunity where you think it's legit, or someone reaches out to you saying that, hey, I have an online job for you. And in some cases, and in a lot of them, people will say, I don't even remember applying to this job. And I've talked about that before. Now, we'll also see a video where a woman says those exact things. And these scammers aren't that creative. They'll come up with like popular positions. So data entry is one of them. Talked about that too. And sometimes I feel like maybe I talk about the scams and all that stuff too often, but I guess I'm not, because I still get comments every single day on videos that I have done about online job scams where people are saying like, hey, is this legit? Or I fell for it. So I guess this is one of those things where you just can't talk about it enough. But anyway, let's say it's a data entry job. You apply to that. You think it's legit. The person starts communicating with you. They then, say like, okay, you're hired. Here's some paperwork, sign this, and everything's kind of feeling legit. It's not 100% like, you know, something's like a little bit off, but most people feel like, well, it's whatever, okay, it's fine, and they'll keep going. And then the thing where the scam really comes in, they'll ask for you to receive a check. It'll typically come to you via mail, or they might even ask you to print off a check, and then they want you to deposit it, and the check will actually deposit into your account. Now, and I don't want to get ahead of myself. But then the next thing where the scam happens is where they say, I need you to then either send some money back because we overpaid you. We sent you a check for too much money. So we need you to send some money back. Or they'll say, okay, well, now go buy your equipment with the money from the check that you cashed. Or, it might be a scam where they're pretending like you're their assistant and they need you to send some of that money in the check that you just deposited to someone else's account. Okay. There's multiple ways that they will package up the reason for why some of that money has to be sent somewhere else, but that's what happens 100% of the time. That's where the scam comes in. Okay, so the scam comes in where they give you the check to cash, but some money has to be sent somewhere else, either back to them because they sent you too much, either to this other account somewhere, or to pay for something by sending it to a certain location. But what's really happening is, even though you'll see the money in your account and the money can be sent out somewhere else, the money actually isn't there. It takes a couple of days for the bank to catch up. That's where the scam comes in. So then in maybe like 48 hours or so, or 2 business days, the bank's going to say, the check didn't clear. And if you cashed a check for like $3,500 and they said, okay, send $1,000 to this other location, and then you kept the other three $2,500, you're going to be on the hook for that $1,000 that you sent out elsewhere. So you're the one holding the bag. That's how these scams work. So we'll hear from these news stories. Okay, I downloaded one of the videos as an example just to see if I can get it to play the audio this way. I've never really done a live where like I share a video and play the audio. So y'all got to forgive me for the tech difficulties, but I'm trying now. You can't get good at something if you don't try it. So that's what I'm trying to do here. And let's see if the video plays. Oh, it didn't download to my computer, but it downloaded. Oh, okay. So it downloaded to, I guess, a place where I can watch the video offline, like if I'm not connected to the internet, but it didn't go to my computer. Let me Google this really quickly. Audio play on video during StreamYard. Okay, so I have to hit present, share screen, and then click Chrome tab, and then select my music tab or my music thing, and then check share audio. Oh no, that's just for music. I'm Googling. Let's see. So every option I see is saying I need to download the thing. Y'all bear with me now. Let's see how to play video in StreamYard. Oh, okay, okay. I think I got it now, y'all. Let me try it out again. Let me try it out again. Okay. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do another test with my video from yesterday, and then I'll come back after like 10 seconds, and y'all let me know if the audio played. Hey, hey, hey. I hope you're thriving on this Thursday. It's your favorite remote work enthusiast, Delilah, and I am back with another hot. Okay, so were y'all able to hear that when I just played the other video? Let me know in the chat. Yay! Yes. Okay. See, I love Google. Okay. I love being able to Google, being resourceful. I'm not giving up. Okay. So now I figured it out. So what I'm going to do is I've got 4 videos and we're going to watch them. So these are 4 news stories that talk about how people are getting scammed with these, check fraud things. So the first one that I'm going to play is I got it already up. I got it up. So I want to play it in a specific order. All right, so I got the video that I'm going to play first for y'all. So we'll watch it together and then I'll come back and we'll talk about it. So I'll play this one. All right.
Well, if you are one of the millions of people looking for work, beware of jobs.
Oh, sorry. I watch all my videos on like double time. Let me put it on regular.
Well, if you are one of the millions of people looking for work, beware of job scams. The Better Business Bureau just released an in-depth investigative study showing job scams increased during the pandemic. The BBB partnered with the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center and found losses from unemployment scams were up 27% between 2018 and 2020. The most commonly victimized people were between the ages of 25 and 34. Women filed 67% of job scam complaints, and the median financial loss reported by these victims was $1,000. I asked the experts how you can avoid these job scams, and I heard from one Wayne County woman who dodged the scammers so you don't waste your money. Octavia Downs is a single mom living in Redford Township who recently launched her job search online. But an email from one particular company she didn't remember applying to caught her attention.
Okay, I have to pause this for a second. Remember how I was just talking about there will be companies that reach out to you that you don't remember applying to? This is exactly the scenario for this woman.
What was the job?
It was for a customer service position, fully remote, and they were saying that they were offering me $35 an hour.
Were you surprised by the hourly rate?
I was. I'm like, that doesn't sound right.
Next.
Okay, pause again. Okay, I'm gonna pause and talk about this while we're watching it. So, first red flag, they reached out to her. She didn't do the applying. She didn't even remember them. Second red flag, really high pay for a job that she probably already knows doesn't typically pay that high. Okay. And then a third red flag within that, she was like, this doesn't sound right, but she kept it going because hey, who doesn't want to get paid $35 per hour? But she already had that something's not right here feeling.
They sent her an unusual request.
They wanted me to download an app called Telegram, and that's how they were going to conduct the interview.
Not in person, not via Zoom, not even on the telephone?
No.
What?
Red flag right there. Telegram and WhatsApp, please, just stay away.
Did you think about that?
I thought that was strange.
She cautiously continued and ended up with a 2-day flurry of texts, complete with a job offer and a rundown of the software and office equipment she'd need to buy to get started. But then they told her she'd have to mobile deposit a check to pay for the supplies, and she'd have to print out the check. Did they explain how to do that?
No, well, they said via check printer. And I said, a check printer? I don't have one of those.
How common is the whole fake check scheme right now?
The Federal Trade Commission is seeing a huge spike in fake check scams.
Melanie Ducanel, the president and CEO of the Better Business Bureau serving Eastern Michigan, says some of these schemers send checks to applicants asking them to send money to a third party or collect personal data to steal money from your account.
But before you sign anything and provide any personal information, take a moment, look in the internet for a phone number, and call that employer directly and say, hey, I'm in the process of being interviewed for this position. And you might find out that that position doesn't even exist.
Octavia Downs reported her experience to the BBB.
I just want to make sure that I'm able to help others so that they don't have to experience the same thing that I experienced.
Thankfully, Octavia didn't lose any money, so that's good news. Some other tips to avoid job scams: consider creating a separate email address when posting a resume on job boards or applying for jobs. Consider setting up a second bank account simply to handle pay for jobs where you have never met the employer in person. Be cautious about providing personal information such as your birth date, social security number, and financial information. Do not respond to calls, texts, emails, or links from unknown numbers or suspicious addresses. And be wary of work from home jobs that involve receiving and reshipping packages. The Better Business Bureau says that research found that about half of the scam targets were people who were seeking work from home opportunities. And think about it, so many people have been looking for flexible employment opportunities during this pandemic to help get through it. So all of those folks, all of you out there doing that, need to know that these scammers are out in force targeting people who are most in need.
And you have to strike a balance because you want to put yourself out there to get the job, but you don't want to put yourself out there so much that you become a victim. And it's difficult if you're trying to get a job, but just saying, be careful with your personal information. Ultimately, you kind of do have to give some of your personal information to your employer, right?
By the time you get the job, for sure.
Exactly.
But not too early on in the job search process.
Okay, so I'm gonna pause it. We'll stop right here because that's the end of it. But I can go back to seeing y'all. So whenever I share these videos, I can't see you guys or what's going on in the chat. So let's talk about that first video. And I paused it to just show right off the top, okay? As soon as Octavia, that's the lady who got scammed in that video, as soon as she started talking, there were so many red flags there, okay? The red flag of, I didn't apply to this job, but they're reaching out to me, offering me, the job. I thought it was strange it was Telegram. I thought it was strange that it was going to pay so much, okay? And as we go on, there were so many more red flags that you have to ignore some of these things. But see, here's the thing. I'm not gonna, say, oh, it's all her fault or, oh, whatever, because just putting ourselves in the shoes of someone looking for a job. A lot of y'all might be looking for jobs right now, or, a lot of y'all might be in a situation where okay, right now I might be looking for a job, but I'm not so desperate. Okay. Not everybody who's looking for a new job kind of can pick and choose. Okay, typically when people just keep going against their better judgment, especially with these job scams, it's because they're kind of at the point of desperation. Like they need money now. Okay, they need bill money, they need spending money, they need money. And so it's like the scammer knows exactly what it is that the job seeker wants the most. And that's the carrot that they're dangling in front of their face. So Octavia was like, $35. You know, I guess it's legit. And then, oh, print a check, do this, do that. She's like, okay, I guess. Okay. You should never be at any point during the job process feeling like, oh my goodness, like, I don't know if this is real. Like, this is feeling real kind of suspect. That's a red flag. Okay. That's a red flag right there. Okay. And for some folks, maybe you've never worked before, but most of us, we have worked before. We know what it's like to go through the onboarding process. We know what it's like to interview with a company. We know what it's like to communicate with the company, to sign paperwork, the hiring agreement, maybe employee handbook. We know what it's like to do that process. Okay. And just because it's remote doesn't mean those things evaporate or they become convoluted. HR is HR. The process of being onboarded is the process of being onboarded, whether in a traditional setting or a remote setting. So that's the very first video. We saw what happened with her. And let me take a look at the comments, the chat box. Let's see what y'all are saying. Okay, so I'm gonna scroll. I don't know where I last left off at. Oh, that was in Michigan. I didn't even pay attention where that was. What do you keep locked all the time? Jenny said, if you ever feel uneasy of scams, I highly recommend to lock your credit with all 3 bureaus in case you have used social security number. Oh, I didn't even know that. Now, I do know that some people use something called like LifeLock. I don't know what all you get with that, but I do know that people can freeze their credit, I believe, with that. I'm not, what's the word? I'm at a loss for words to say. I'm not saying go get that because I don't even know about it. I've just heard people tell me about it. Like I remember back when I worked at Sears, we had to sell credit cards, and I'd ask customers like, hey, do you want to apply? And they'd tell me like, oh, my stuff is frozen. Like I use LifeLock or something. So I don't even know if that's still a thing. That was a while ago. Okay. So Jenny says she does the same. Sana said that she keeps an Excel spreadsheet of jobs that she's applied to. This is such a smart idea. And I can see how if you've been applying to a bunch of jobs, like even in just a week's time, if you're heavy in the job search, you can start to forget about jobs you've applied to. Because I know back when I was on the job search, I would just apply. Sorry if my camera's shaking, I hit my desk. I would just apply to anything and everything that fit what I was looking for. So, you're putting your application all out there. That's a great idea to just start keeping track of it. And also like copying and pasting the job lead into the spreadsheet, because we know job leads close. So you can already have the job lead information there for you when they call you back and say, hey, we want to do an interview. And you can also use that same spreadsheet to get ready for your interview. And remember to hit on those points that they mentioned in the job lead. So that's a great idea, Sana. We got to steal that one. Okay. And Elevate by any means says that's a great idea. And you say you write them down. Yeah, Excel spreadsheet. And you can get that practice too with Excel for all the folks who want to do the non-phone typing stuff. Okay, hitting the bird with multiple stones or whatever the thing is. What is it? Hit 2 birds with 1 stone. So yeah, with 1 stone, whatever. Doreen said that she has to be back. Okay, thanks for stopping by, Doreen. Come back when you can. And if not, it'll be on here. Okay. And Crystal said, definitely will look into that. Yeah. So y'all see what happened with the first case. So let me get to the second video. Okay. So I have right here that I'm going to play. Okay. So I know which one's coming next. And I put these in order for a reason, because I want us to see like some of the different variations of the same scam that goes on. So I'm going to get the next video up and we'll come back and we'll chat about it. So the second video is this one.
One woman thought she nailed her interview. She realized her potential employer was actually a thief.
How about that? She contacted our investigator, Amy Davis, when she discovered the fraudster had stolen thousands of dollars from her online. Amy's with us now, so you don't fall for the same thing. Amy, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, because it could be easy for anybody to fall for this. Karen Miller and her new husband, Matt, they're supposed to be on their honeymoon in Dubai right now, but their big trip was canceled after their honeymoon funds were all stolen.
I done filled out over 75 job applications in Houston, Texas. 75, okay? And I'm just trying to get a job.
In this now viral video, Karen Miller took to TikTok to warn others about what happened to her. After a great first interview with the company she found on Indeed, Karen was invited for a second virtual interview.
So I thought it was legit, and everything that they were explaining to me seemed legit. I had to fill out a paper for my payroll. All of that seemed legit.
Then things went south.
We were on Zoom, and then we switched to Microsoft Teams, and they asked me to continue to click different links because their website was down on their end.
While waiting, the employer asked her to pay for her background check.
So in doing that, I used my Cash App, and that's how they got in, and my Cash App was still open on my computer.
It appears that when clicking the different links as instructed, Karen was actually allowing someone to hack into her computer.
Okay, I have to pause it right here. Okay, I have to pause it right here because there's several things already. I mean, first and foremost, this is an example of when everything's kind of seeming really legit. Like she's saying it from her own mouth. Everything seemed legit. We did the interview, everything was going fine. But then they got to the background check. Now, there are some companies that will require you to pay for the background check. The only types of companies that will ever require you to pay for a background check are 1099 companies. Those are these contractor companies that are out here, and not every one of them will make you pay for it. Okay, it's like 50-50. Some of them will make you pay for it, some of them won't. But if you're ever taking on any type of salaried position, any position where you are considered a W-2 employee, you should never have to pay for your background check. That's the responsibility of the company. So just keep that in mind. And then the other thing too, if you ever do need to do a background check, I'm trying to remember, because I've paid for one before. This was years ago when I did a phone-based role with Arise. I had tried it out. I want to say, I'm trying to remember because I had to go to this place in my town to do like a drug test. And I can't remember if I paid for the background check at that same place or if it was online. Like the details of it, I cannot remember. I'm trying to give y'all all the information that I remember, but I do remember I had to go to a location where they did drug testing. There was a bunch of people sitting in there because everyone was trying to do their employment drug testing. And I can't remember if I paid for the background check there or some sort of online platform, but Cash App, like what? No, not Cash App. Don't do that.
And then an hour later, I realized all of our honeymoon fund was actually gone, $3,500.
They are trying new tactics, getting more creative.
Leah Napoliello with the Houston Better Business Bureau says job scams are up. A few red flags, a high-paying job, but the tasks seem easy. Job materials look unprofessional with spelling errors, and your research of the company comes up empty.
Can't find when they started or anything aside from what they have placed on their own website, then that is concerning.
Scammers did.
Okay, you guys heard that, didn't you? The research of the company, like when she researched the company, it came up empty. Now, she did say she originally found some sort of website, but then that website disappeared. I've told y'all many, many times, you should be able to find the company's website plus other websites that mention that company. So if they're a legit company, they're going to have articles about them. They're going to show up in the media on other platforms. So their one and only website shouldn't be the only thing that you find when you do a Google search of them.
Did send Karen a company website, but it's gone now. The money she lost, also gone. And she still doesn't have a job. Still, Karen and Matt say they won't let the bad news get them down.
These are my bouquets for my bridesmaids.
They got married this past weekend and are making the best out of Matt's week off.
We really trust in everything happens for a reason. So honestly, even though that we won't be able to go on a honeymoon, we're going to make the best of it by just staying home and taking care of house things.
So, of course, Karen immediately contacted Cash App. They told her that they can't get her money back. We asked Indeed what they're doing to stop scammers from using their site to target job seekers, but no one from Indeed responded to us. So if something like this happens to you, you should immediately file a police report because that's theft. And then you can also report it to the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center and obviously let your bank know about it. Sometimes, a fraction percentage of the time, when you report it quick enough, sometimes your bank, it hasn't gone through yet. You know, I mean, hers was like.
We've heard so many times not to pay people during this process, but I think the thing that's definitely stands out to me is when I think about a big company like Indeed, I'm just assuming that they've vetted all of these companies.
Right. Don't assume that. Okay, so I'm going to stop it right here because there's several things that they just said. So let me go back to being able to see y'all because I didn't need to see y'all while I'm talking about this. Okay, so first and foremost, she did not get her money back. That money is gone. Okay, Cash App has nothing to do with it. And that's the position banks and these money transferring platforms will 9 times out of 10 take. And you heard the news anchor say, like, if you figure it out fast enough, a fraction % of the time, you might be able to get your money back if it hasn't already gone through. But if you send this money to these scammers, if you're cashing a check for them or you're paying for a background check, now this one, it's not the cashing check scam, but they were able to get into her computer through suspicious links that were actually giving them access to her computer. So that's where being tech savvy comes in, because I know sometimes we might go to certain websites and it might say like, oh, caution. And we know, hey, the website's fine, whatever. It'll do that to a lot of like independent websites like mine. Like you might get that on there. But to give someone access to your computer, there's certain things that will pop up. Like if anyone is a Zoom user, on Zoom, they have a feature to where you can give someone access remotely to your desktop. If you've ever called customer service for some sort of like tech thing on your computer, like Microsoft or something, for example, they can get access to your computer remotely, but you have to select certain things and give certain permissions. So that's where you being tech savvy and understanding, like, wait a minute, I don't need to give you access to something. Like, what? Why are we switching from Zoom to Teams to whatever? Doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. If it doesn't make sense, stop and try and make sense of what's going on. Okay. The other thing, the news anchor man, you heard him say, let me go back. Okay. I'm gonna rewind it because I want to make sure that we all heard what he asked or what he said. I got to go back a couple seconds.
But I think the thing that's definitely stands out to me is when I think about a big company like Indeed, I'm just assuming that they vetted all of these companies.
Right.
And obviously, if she got.
You heard what the guy just said? If you didn't hear what he said, I'm just assuming with a big company like Indeed that they have vetted all of these links that are on there. No, anyone can get on there. That's what I've been telling y'all, okay? It doesn't matter if it's Indeed, Glassdoor, Monster, Simply Hired, LinkedIn, and Career Builder, Flex Jobs. You keep naming the sites, okay? You keep naming all these job websites. It doesn't matter. Scammers can get on there. They can impersonate real companies. These websites, I have no clue if they're actually trying to stop it. They say they are, but the scams persist, and they can't stop everybody. Because, I mean, how would you even control who's getting on there and making job posts when they literally post thousands of job posts every single day? That's hard to police. So that's why we have to do our due diligence. So let me see what y'all are saying in the chat. Let's see. Let me scroll back up. Yes, it is heartbreaking because the scammers are the people trying to get the money dishonestly, and the people who are looking for jobs, we're trying to make this money honestly. And it's sad that hardworking or people who want to work hard cannot get a real job without being scammed. Mm-hmm. Use a PO box as an address. Yeah. Oh, that's your local news station? James said he uses a job tracker spreadsheet to keep track of all the places he applies. Yeah. And Colleen says she keeps records from when they email you. That's good. Okay, let me just scroll down to just go through these. Yep. Jenny says, don't apply on Indeed in general, and you should never have to pay for a background check. I mean, the thing is, Jenny, with all of these websites, like I was saying, none of them are any better than the other. Oh, give me a second, y'all. I need to take this. All right, I'm back, y'all. Okay. But yeah, none of the websites are any better than the other. So if you don't like a certain website, maybe you have found that there are a lot of scams on certain websites. That's okay. You can choose not to use one. But I would just say that, all these websites, they all have their fair share of scams out there, and you just want to be vigilant wherever you search. So personally, I'm not an Indeed fan myself. I personally don't really like Indeed. I would prefer to use LinkedIn and Glassdoor. Those are just my two personal favorites, but any website can have scams on them. So let's see what else. Let's see. Oh, Dakota said that she worked with a Rise and it's $20 or $30. Okay, thanks for that. Because I can't even remember how much it was. And I can't remember if I paid for it online or if I did that. I can't, it was that this was 20, was it 2018 or 2017? I can't remember. I can't remember. Hey, Veronica. Happy Friday. Yes, you got to do your homework on these companies. Absolutely. Carla said, I live in South Carolina and some jobs are paying via Cash App, same day pay. Is that safe? I don't know, Carla, because it just depends. I mean, if you are actually physically going to a location and doing work and you're actually seeing the hiring manager and you're, doing all of that. But see, I've never heard of someone getting paid via Cash App unless it's just a peer-to-peer transfer of money. That's what I've always known Cash App to be. Same thing with PayPal. Now, Zelle is the one peer-to-peer platform that is also like bank approved. A lot of banks will say if you need to send money to somebody who might have a different bank, then you can use Zelle, because Zelle can, like, if you send money to someone via their Zelle account, that money automatically ends up in their checking account. So that's the only one. And I heard that straight from someone who worked at Wells Fargo. But other than that, I don't know about that, Carla. I don't know. Yeah. And especially if it's online, I'd say no. I'd say no, because I want that money directly to my checking account. That's what I'd want. Even though you can transfer it, I don't know. And that's the other thing. Like, it's okay to be like, I don't know, and that doesn't sound right. And you can move on to something else that feels more legit and doesn't seem as risky. And I would recommend that. I would, because I can't say in all the jobs that I've ever gotten hired to do, if I ever had red flags go up. I don't remember ever being like, ooh, this is a red flag. I never felt that way. So that's a telltale sign. Now I have a third video, and I'll go back to looking at y'all's comments, but there's 4 videos. So we got through 2. There are 2 more that I want to share. And so the third one that I'm going to share is, let's make sure I got it up. Okay, I got the video up. All right, let me go ahead and share it, and I'll come back and we can talk about the third one that I'm about to share right now. So just remember what we were talking about, how you really won't get your money back 9 times out of 10.
A lot of people have lost their jobs in the pandemic, and that was the case for Ivy Hotchkiss. She spent weeks looking online for a job and thought she found one working from home for this national women's clothing company.
Given the state of the economy at the time, I was ecstatic to have a job as a student where, I wasn't making much at the time.
To work for the company, she was told she'd need specific office equipment. So she was sent a check for almost $3,500, told to e-transfer that money to an office furniture company. So she did, but it turns out it was all an elaborate scam. The real Aritzia had nothing to do with it. 2 days later, the check bounced.
Shock and disbelief, just clutching my computer thinking, what am I going to do?
Hotchkiss says she trusted the money was there because she saw the $3,500 in her account for 2 days and stay there until she e-transferred the money. According to the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre, in the first 9 months of this year, almost 1,400 people have lost more than $8 million from job scams, often due to fake checks.
We're more connected to technology more than ever, working, being at home, being next to a computer. So this basically put a great foundation for scam artists to use in their model to try to trick people.
TD said it was Hotchkiss's fault for cashing a fake check, but did offer to put a hold on future checks until they've been verified.
I don't understand why this isn't a regular policy for every customer. This would prevent everyone from being scammed.
This law prof says, given the increased scams, the banks need to do more to protect people.
This could have been easily resolved if the banks had just simply put a hold on the check until it cleared. But they just don't make that feature available because it doesn't make them money.
After Go Public contacted TD Bank, it gave Ivy Hotchkiss back her $3,500 as a goodwill gesture and sent her a link with tips for avoiding job scams.
Okay, y'all heard that?
Well, if you are...
Y'all heard that? So in this event, she did get her money back, but she had to really jump through some hoops there. And you heard the man at the end. He said, banks don't care. They're just all about their money. So if you end up being scammed through one of these check cashing scams, you're on the hook holding the bag 9 times out of 10. So please don't ever cash a check for anyone. And you heard what she was saying. She was like, it seemed legit. And so she went ahead and went through with it. But then they wanted her to, do the check cashing thing. No, don't do that. Okay. I have a 4th video. Okay. I told y'all I'm driving this point home. Okay. If you're like, Delilah, we get it. We're never cashing a check for anybody. I got to drive it home. One more video because I'm tired of folks telling me that they cashed a check and got scammed. It breaks my heart. Okay. And I got to make sure that y'all never, ever, ever cash a check for anybody for any reason. So I'm going to play the 4th video.
Also from the CBS 2 investigators, new numbers reveal just how many people in Illinois have been taken by unemployment scams since the start of the pandemic.
With record numbers of Illinoisans laid off in the last year, many are using job search sites to get back in the game. But as CBS 2 investigator Dorothy Tucker reveals, not all of those job postings are what they seem.
The imagery is just perfect.
The spiffy video from Slalom Consulting,
core values and principles,
is what caught Benjamin Graves' attention.
Looks like a very diverse company. They have a lot of great ideas.
And the data entry position listed on Indeed seemed perfect.
The salary was in the upper 40.
Did they say data entry position? I got to rewind that real quick.
In the data entry position listed on Indeed.
She said data entry. What have we talked about? Data entry. People want to do data entry. Scammers know you want to do data entry. So that's what they're going to lead with when they're doing a scam.
Indeed seemed perfect.
The salary was in the upper 40, $50,000 range.
Attractive to the
Wait. Let me pause this for a second. I'm sorry. I'm going to stop the share for just a second. Okay. I told y'all I'm going to drive this point home. All right. Whoever wants to cash a check, I hope they find this video. I'm driving this point home. Okay. I've talked about with data entry jobs, not paying a lot for data entry. Okay. There's a video on my channel that I'm going to point y'all to in just a moment after we watch this one. But I made this video in February. This is the 3rd video in that data entry series that I've shared. And I told y'all, data entry, if you can find it, is not always going to pay a lot of money. Now, there are typing-based roles. There are roles that involve data entry, but it's part of like a bigger type of role, like claims, for example. Or, maybe you're doing some type of, intake enrollment or something. I'm making something up here. Yeah, you might get paid well from data entry, but if you see a data entry job pay $10 per hour, don't turn your nose up at it because that's on par with what data entry often pays. Now, what's been going on for like the last 2 months on my channel is I've just been posting so much data entry. This is unprecedented. Like every time I find a data entry job and I share it with y'all, I'm surprised because I've been on YouTube since my very first video was 2017. I have never posted this much consistent data entry ever, 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 ever. If I get on the computer and I stop seeing data entry, I'm not going to be surprised. Why? Because for a long time, these roles were being outsourced. And I don't know what's going on now. Okay. I don't control these companies and the decisions that they make, but data entry are jobs where, people like them because you don't have to talk, you can type, everyone can do that. There's a lot of English speaking countries out here where they are more skilled than most folks and they can do the job and they'll do it for a fraction of what someone in, North America would want to be paid. So just be mindful of all of that. Take all of that into consideration when wanting to do data entry. Because I know some folks have left comments on videos that I've posted recently with data entry jobs that don't pay that high. And they're like, what? $14? What can I do with that? I know. Okay. You think I don't know? You can't really do a whole lot with that. But I don't get into folks' business about why they want to do a certain job or what their bills are. I just deliver. Okay. So I understand you might not be able to live off of $14. Not everybody's trying to do that. Some people, they work because they want to. Some people, whatever. Anyway, let me go back to the video. I don't want to get off on a tangent here, but I'm going to go back to the video and we're going to finish watching it.
Veteran who just got a college degree in December, but has not been able to find a job. So when he got a response to his application saying he was qualified for the next step,
That just lit up my whole world. It really did.
but the excitement didn't last.
Wait. They popped up the red flags on the screen. Let's see. What were the red flags? It said the review process will take 13 minutes. Stand by and make sure your IM is available. Okay. Red flag. All right. The grammar is off here. And I mean, this doesn't even make sense. Like, stand by on your instant message. What? Your infos will be enlisted and updated. Do you have a printer or have access to one at the moment? Again, grammar is all off. Like, what this is, the apostrophe S is saying that like, that's just wrong. Okay. And then we are going to work, let me take the caption off, on giving you your startup check first and foremost. Used to acquire your needed working. I'm hurting myself trying to read this. Yeah, red flags for sure.
Red flags just kept coming up.
The job offer was immediate, and then there was the check.
It was a cashier's check for $2,000.
Made out to Graves, so he could buy a $1,200 Apple computer for himself and send the rest to the company.
Now,
Okay, let me pause this again. Okay. This is the classic, here's the money, here's the check so you can go buy the equipment scam. Now, if they wanted him to have an Apple computer, why wouldn't they just send him the Apple computer? I mean, wouldn't that make the most sense? If they want you to have an Apple computer, why send a check? They sent it in a jiffy. No one's falling over themselves to send y'all some money. Okay. So that's a red flag there. But then they send him a check so that he can go buy a specific kind of computer. You're putting too much trust in people's hands to do the right thing. I'll keep going.
At that point, my red flags were really up.
So Graves called the Gold Coast Federal Credit Union.
I read off the numbers, and sure enough, the teller said, yeah, that's a fraudulent check.
He was not happy.
To prey on the unemployed seems like that's just the worst of the worst to me.
Time was all Graves lost.
And I was able.
Latrina Smith lost money.
So I lost like $1,000 and some dollars.
Different company, different job, same job site, similar scam.
It was heartbreaking.
In Smith's case, the scammers convinced her they would wire $7,200 into her account.
They told me which laptops to get.
She was to ship them overseas, but in the end, the check didn't clear, and Smith was out nearly $1,000 of her own money.
You get your hopes up about finding a job to find out that it's not really a job.
Hundreds across Illinois have lost money to employment scams. In 2019, according to the FBI, 388 job seekers were scammed out of $631,000. But in 2020, during the deadliest health and economic crisis in decades, the numbers jumped to 533, and scammers hit the innocent for a whopping $1.6 million.
I mean, we were very upset.
Here's another victim, but not the kind we usually profile.
So the goal was really to.
Kurt Schiller has a job at ArcWeb Technologies.
A lot of our work is
In fact, he's a hiring manager. But last December, he was not hiring. Still,
There were literally people messaging me saying, I just had an interview with you, Kurt, and I'm confused about some of the stuff that you said.
scammers had used ArcWeb's name, logo, and profile to post fake jobs on several sites.
It's deeply troubling from the point of view of company reputation management.
The company got more than 100 calls in 1
Let me
week.
pause this. Okay, so you guys see they're doing like sort of a little pan on the company's website showing you the alert. You guys have seen this alert on just about every website you've gone to. And people have asked me, does this mean that the website's a scam? No, this means that scammers are using this company's good name to scam. We can see some examples of this afterwards, but just keep in mind, if you see this alert, it's because this is how scammers are using these companies to pretend to be them. And now companies have to point out that wasn't us if you think it was us.
From ripped off job seekers.
There were people getting tricked into sending people their green cards. People were getting tricked into sending copies of their photo ID.
The fake posts were eventually removed. Remember Slalom and initially how impressed Graves was with the company?
This company was worth like $1.2 billion.
We are Slalom Consulting.
Slalom is an international corporation with offices around the world, including Chicago at the Aon Center. But no one from Slalom ever contacted Graves or sent these emails. This was a scammer, and Slalom is just another victim. We spoke with top executives from Slalom, and they said they had no clue they had been targeted. But as soon as they found out, they alerted federal authorities.
I would imagine that a significant number of organizations that are out there whose brands are being used in these types of scams have no idea it's happening.
But according to job sites that CBS 2 investigators contacted, they had measures in place to spot suspicious activity, detect fake accounts, prevent fraud. So why are we still seeing these kind of numbers in Illinois?
And so at the end of the day, these are all businesses, right? And they're looking to make a profit.
More needs to be done, is the sentiment from Smith and Graves.
I would want them to simply just vet a little better. There needs to be some type of watchdog group. Otherwise, everyone loses.
Graves is doing his own vetting. From now on, when he sees a post on a job site like Indeed, he goes directly to the corporation's website.
Thank you. Okay. I got excited. I might have paused it a little too fast, but he says, the news anchor said he's doing his own research. And whenever he sees a job, he goes directly to the company's website. I feel like I say this every single video. Actually, I know I say this every single video. I'm not trying to toot my own horn. Okay, I'm just saying. Let's the video finish.
And checks out the career center or job section to make sure the job is not a fake. Dorothy Tucker, CBS 2 Investigators.
We reached out to Indeed multiple times and have not received a response to our specific questions, but on its website, it does offer tips on how to avoid job scams and how to report an incident if you've been scammed.
A lot of people have lost their jobs in the pandemic, and that was the case for Ivy Hotchkiss.
Okay. Oh, it went to another video. We already watched this one. Okay, so let me stop the share. Okay. There's so much. There's so much that I could just talk about ad nauseum with the 4 videos that we've watched. Okay, so let's just run it back. Let's run back some of the main things. And I have videos about this. So they touched on the check cashing scam. They touched on giving people access to your computer, and that allowing companies to get access to your your personal information. That's the one with the lady who did the Cash App scam. They also talked about the reshipping stuff. If y'all are not familiar with the reshipping scam, I have a video that I did, I think that was the beginning of last year. Okay. And let me pull it up here. We're not going to watch the whole reshipping video. I'm just pointing out the reshipping video for y'all to see what it looks like. But I cited an article that someone named Susan Tomper had written, and I'll share my screen just so we can see what it is that I'm talking about. But the reshipping scam is another one that they touched on here. There is no such thing as a reshipping job. You cannot do that type of work from home. It just does not exist. What you're actually doing is you are covering up the tracks of someone who has stolen money and purchased goods. So how that reshipping scam works is, you'll have the scammers out here who will take somebody's information. They'll buy all sorts of stuff on Amazon to unload that money. They'll send it to someone's house who believes that they are a reshipper. And that person's job is to receive these packages, open them up, and make sure that everything is what's supposed to be in there. Then they're supposed to just close the package back up and head to like UPS or FedEx or wherever to then ship them to a new location. That's the job. Your job is to open a box, see if everything's in there, close it, and go down to the shipping place for it to be shipped somewhere else. Well, guess what? You're helping somebody launder money if you do that. And it's not a real job. And the police will absolutely show up to your door. And there are so many comments. I'm not going to show it because I'm not trying to, embarrass anyone. But there are so many comments on this video where people have watched the video, say in the comment like, "Oh, I just got hired to do this." And I'm like, "It's not real." And they'll comment back and say, "Well, I'm not really sure, but I'm going to give it a try." You didn't watch the same video I just watched? I mean, I made the video. You didn't click on the link to the article? You didn't see where I said there's no such thing? You didn't see this woman and many of the other comments where folks were saying that they got scammed, that the police showed up to their door? It's not just one or two folks. There's a bunch of comments on that video where people are like, "This happened to me," or "This happened to a friend. The police showed up." I don't know. Okay. Anyway, going back, because I could get off on a tangent here. Just watch out for red flags and don't be so anxious to do a job at the expense of your identity, your savings, your good reputation with the bank. Because in a lot of other cases that I have heard, the news articles or the news stories didn't address this part. You can actually have your bank account closed down and lose the ability to bank with your bank when you are cashing fake checks, because the bank has to protect themselves. And there's a lot of uproar about, "Hey, you should be able to give me my money back because I'm a victim." And you saw the banks were like, "No, you're going to pay for that. You're going to foot the bill." So people will lose out on their bank accounts here. And I'm going to give you guys another resource. Okay. I told y'all I am driving this point home. Okay. I don't care if y'all are like, "Delilah, we get it. We get it." I'm going to make sure y'all get it. Okay. I have an article. I thought I had bookmarked it. If not, I can pull it up. But I have an article from, where is this article from? This is from the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission. Okay. And they have an article that I am going to share with y'all about what they say when it comes to these check scams and online scams. I'm getting the link and I'm going to put it in the chat box. And then I'll come back and see what y'all are saying in the chat. Okay. So I just put it in the chat box, but you can hear, if you don't believe me, if you don't believe the articles or the news stories that we just watched, I have a link to the FTC's website. Okay, I just put it in the chat box, and they talk about the different types of fake check scams. You know, if ever in doubt, have that article bookmarked and something you can reference. Okay. So let me scroll up here and see what y'all are saying in the chat. And I got to go to Sam's. I feel like every time I get on live, I got to go to Sam's. I'm supposed to be making some baked beans for a barbecue tomorrow. I'm like, how? Well, me make the baked beans, but I'm making the baked beans. So, and I don't want to just do the regular. I do it like my auntie used to do it. She's gone on to glory now, but she could cook. She was actually she cooked at the daycare that I went to too. And she used to make it with like the little pieces of meat, not pork. I think it's like ground beef. I need to look up some recipes because my mom doesn't make them like that. I want to make them like that. And I think you do like the mustard and maybe some brown sugar or something. I don't want to put anyone into like a diabetic coma, but I want to do that kind of baked beans. You know, I don't want to do just the regular. But anyway, let's see what y'all are saying in the chat. I'll start from right here. Someone said I would have kept the 3,500. That's the part where it's like, come on, y'all. Let's think. If a company sends you a check and you're someone who's looking for a job and you need money, everybody's not honest. Most folks would just cash the check and keep it and ghost the company. So them sending you the check doesn't make sense if they're a legit company, because they would want to protect their assets. Now, think about it if it was your money. If you said, okay, I'm going to hire somebody, I need like an assistant, let me go ahead and send them a check for $3,500. And then I'm going to trust them to go pay bills and to donate to charities and whatever else. You would not do that. You'd be like, I know someone's going to try and take my money, so I'm going to protect it at all costs. Okay, just like you would protect your money, these companies want to protect their money. No one has so much money that they're just gonna, freely write you a check and tell you to go do some stuff with it and be on the honor system. Okay. Someone said that they just came. Thanks for joining. Definitely say there are many job scammers out there. Yeah, always be careful. I tell folks, don't even trust me. Okay, check behind me. I want y'all to check behind me. I want y'all to get into the habit of checking everything, everyone. I'll never purposely do something to scam anybody, but don't even trust me. Okay. They just tried to get me too twice. Oh no, you got scammed. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry to hear that. I was happy and thought I was finally going to be able to get back. That's terrible. It is just terrible how scammers are so heartless. I'm not sure about the fraud laws in Canada, but we did see one of the people who got scammed. They were in Canada. Yeah. Not all banks put a hold on them for that long. I think one of these videos said it takes about 2 days for them to clear. And see, I'm not even going to go down the rabbit hole of rubber checks and stuff, but check scams have been around for a long time, y'all. Okay. And back when checks were more common, it wasn't like a novelty or, a one-off type situation, because most folks don't use checks these days. Only time I have ever had to use a check was putting a down payment on our home, or I had to go get a cashier's check for like the first payment for my apartment, something like that. Very rarely have I ever had to use a check. But, people have been using checks for a long time. And back when it was more common, folks would get themselves caught up because they knew that they didn't have any money in their account, but they could write them a check, cash that check, get the money, and then they knew the bank wasn't going to be able to pull that money for maybe a couple of days, so that they bought themselves some time. And usually people would do that to sort of hold themselves from payday to payday. So by the time the bank did go to collect for the check, the money was in there. Don't ask me how I know all that. But anyway, what else are y'all talking about? Every now and again, a scammer contacts me. Yeah, Indeed, LinkedIn, Glassdoor, doesn't matter. I've seen scams on all of those websites. Yeah. So let's see what else is going on in the comments. Yeah, red flag number 1, data entry. So, we always have our antennas up, but we want to just, keep them up, especially when looking for data entry and the more common jobs that everybody wants to do. And that man was smart. He didn't get taken for a ride. He got into it. He was going down the road, but then he was like, wait a minute. So he didn't actually get, 100% scammed, which was great. But we saw the other lady in that video did. And I think they said she lost like $1,000. You've gotten emails from Indeed where they have closed job postings due to fraud. Indeed is cracking down on it, but these fraudsters are too sneaky. That's good to hear that Indeed is actually trying, because on some of those reports, they said we reached out to Indeed, but they declined to comment, or we just haven't heard back. So yeah. Another thing to be cautious in Facebook groups, there are a lot of people pushing their legit jobs that make them good money, some in investing and some others. But I saw that recently in Facebook mom group. Anything that says investing, or they'll get on my comment section and say, oh, I'm so thankful to Mr. So-and-so. He showed me how to get a lot of money. And there will be a bunch of comments under it. It's all fake. I don't know how these scammers are on here doing it, but it's like chat box. And they'll post a comment on my YouTube channel. And I've watched them do this. And then when you refresh it, there's already like 10 comments replying, pretending to be different people, saying like, oh, I want more information. Or, oh yeah, I used Mr. So-and-so too. I got a lot of money with Mr. So-and-so. It's fake. And YouTube has done a little bit better, but they haven't done too much to crack down on this. It's still a big problem. Okay, I definitely agree about applying to companies through the website. If I see a job on a job board and it's not on the website, I'll contact the company to see if it's legit. Very good. Yes. I always give y'all links directly through these companies' websites for the very reason of we just don't want to be talking to a scammer. Yes, this was in reference to the jobs being outsourced to other English-speaking countries. Data entry gets outsourced to Asia and India, all sorts of places that are not, the US and Canada, because people speak English in those countries. They are able to type and use 10 key and Excel and Microsoft Office just like we can. And they don't want to get paid as much as we get paid. So they'll accept it, whatever they get paid. I'm not sure what was funny for y'all. I just see a lot of laughing emojis. Yes, the email addresses look crazy. If you're talking to a company, it should always be, any email address should always be from that company, never from Gmail. never from AOL, never from Hotmail. If you're talking to, ABC company and their website is abc.com, the email should be the hiring recruiter's name at abc.com. Okay, it should never be from Gmail or any of those other places. Grammar is a huge, 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 huge red flag. Yes. Someone was trying to scam you, Coy. Someone saying they needed a personal assistant. Nope. He said this was preventable. Yeah, it's happened to so many people. So many people. You say you're not sending nothing back. Yeah, so keep in mind, these check scams will say either you need to buy equipment with it, send it to this location, send some back because we overpaid you, send some to this account and deposit it. You always have to send some out. That's where the scam, completes because they get the money. Once they have the money in hand, they can run off. You'll never catch them because you don't even know who they really are. You're the one who has to pay that money back. Some legit companies do offer a work office setup stipend, but they don't send checks. Yes. Okay. So you will see companies in the job lead mention, we'll give you a home office stipend. We'll even do a monthly stipend to supplement your internet and your phone bill. Okay. Companies do give stipends. Companies do send equipment. They will just never send you a check and expect you to go buy the equipment and then send some here and send some there. Yeah, so I have to point that out. That's a good point to bring up. Yes, companies do provide equipment, but it's never going to be through the form of a check. Okay? Yeah. And stay off of Telegram, y'all. Stay off of Telegram, stay off of WhatsApp. Just stay away. Don't do anything job related on Telegram and WhatsApp. And I have to remind y'all, I am not on Telegram and WhatsApp. I have a bar that scrolls under my video, every single video for like a year now, that says I am not on Telegram, I am not on WhatsApp. People still message me saying like, hey, we were talking on Telegram. No, we weren't. In fact, on the very video you are commenting under, I said that I am not on Telegram and WhatsApp. So I guess with the whole scam topic, I can't talk about it enough. Don't do anything on there, and I'm not on there. Yeah, Indeed does host a lot of grimy companies, but so do a lot of other job search platforms. Indeed is really popular. Like scammers are going where people are. Indeed is a very popular job search website, so that's where scammers are going to go. And if another website became more popular than Indeed, that's where the scammers would also run to. But they're on all of them. Yeah. And it's a hard thing to control. It really is. I think if they were to ever get a grasp on it, they would have to have some sort of agreement with the companies that put their job postings on Indeed or wherever the website is, and have it to where like they are constantly checking and searching who's using their name. But that's a big ask because there's no way to know if they're actually doing that. So it's a hard thing to get under control for sure. I gotta say it again for the folks in the back, okay? No company is falling over themselves to send you money. I'm sorry, y'all. I wish they'd be falling over themselves to send some money out. Hey, I'm not too proud to cash a check if it's legit. Bless me, but that's not how it goes. Okay, so I'm just going to hurry up and scroll through these to read through. Oh, Dorothy says she has a question about Glassdoor. He said, I have a question about Glassdoor. When I look up a company, it says to add a review or salary, but I don't have anything to add. So how do I get around this? Glassdoor is it's not a pay to play website, but to make sure that there's a lot of information before Glassdoor starts showing you other company information, they want you to share your work history. So if you're just setting up your Glassdoor account, you'll see it where they say, submit your work history or leave a review for a company. And that's when you'll get access to seeing the other companies that you're researching. So you can, leave a review or two for past companies you've worked for, and that should allow you to have access to see everything on Glassdoor. That's how they get everyone to participate and leave reviews. Because if not, then there would hardly be any reviews for any companies. Veronica said, shameful. It's hard enough already finding a job, and scammers out here scamming people who are trying to do the right thing. Be mindful, be aware, and alert, and be careful, everyone. Yes, that's the word of the day. Just be mindful, be alert, be careful. And just keep in mind, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. Oh, Janelle. Okay, so I was right. There's mustard in it and brown sugar and ketchup. That's the other thing. That's the other ingredient. Yeah, thank you, Janelle. I need to look up some recipes because I want my baked beans to be good. Congrats, Jenny. Jenny said, I got hired recently to work at Williams-Sonoma from one of your videos and start on Monday. I was suspicious at first because their hiring process is weird. Congrats, Jenny. Yeah, as long as you're applying directly through these companies' websites, it's fine. And I want to also point out something else too. And what time is it? It's 1:54, and I've been on here for an hour and a half. I could easily do a part 2 and a part 3 and whatnot to this, but something else that I want to bring up, and it's not related to anything, but that just reminded me. Some people get suspicious when a company texts them. So you'll have people who are all the way on one end of the spectrum where it's like there are so many red flags, but they keep going and, nothing's stopping them. And then there are other people on the other end where it's like they're so paranoid about getting scammed that everything in the hiring process scares them and they question if it's legit or not. One of those things is texting. Companies will text you these days. I've seen on leads from Cigna, for example, they'll say part of their hiring process is to schedule an interview, and they'll even send you the links through text. Companies will use texting to get the interviews scheduled with you, but you'll never conduct an interview via text. So you might get a text saying, click this link so that you can schedule an interview, but you will never do an interview via text. You will always do interviews with cameras on. Most popular platforms for interviews are Microsoft Teams and Zoom. So you might use a company's internal platform to do interviews. That's okay. You might even be asked to do a pre-recorded interview. That is also okay. This is just for efficiency. If you're, again, using Cigna, because that's a company where they have listed out, and maybe I can actually pull that up. Okay, so I'm going to pull up the Cigna thing. I'm going to point you guys to that 10 data entry video, 10 data entry jobs video, just so you can see where I'm talking about the things to think about when working from home, doing a data entry job. And then I'm going to go because I know that I've been on here and I don't want to hold y'all. So let me see if I can find a lead from Cigna that mentions it. It's either Cigna or Humana. It could be both. Okay. Okay, so I'll share my screen just so we can see what I'm seeing at the same time. Okay, so I just went to Cigna's website, and I'm not sure if it's them who says this, but I just clicked on their How We Hire. So you'll apply. There will be a phone screen. If you're selected for an interview, they will reach out to coordinate the interview with you. Do they mention the texting decision? Let me check Humana's website, because at the bottom of their job leads, they sometimes give you more details about how exactly it works, and they'll mention specifically texting. But my whole point is that can be legit, because companies are just trying to get in contact with you in the best way possible. So some people, they don't even have their voicemail set up. So they can't leave you a voicemail. And then, they'll send you an email. They'll always send you an email. But then sometimes, people don't check their email like they're supposed to, even though they're on a job search. So they'll text you, and that way they can get a good response outcome. But let me see if Humana is, I'll just share my screen while I'm trying to find a lead on Humana to just click on. And let's see if it's them who puts it at the bottom. We can just see their remote positions. Care management support professional. What are the requirements for this? This might actually be a good job. Hey, if somebody wants to be a care management support professional, Humana has a hot lead. They're hiring all those states. But anyway, I digress. Okay, it was Humana. I knew it was either Cigna or Humana, but you see it right here. It says, so after you apply, the next step, it'll say, if selected to continue with the interview process, you'll be contacted through text or email to complete an assessment or schedule an initial live or recorded phone or video interview. So you see it right there. Okay, I wanted to show you guys a real deal example of companies saying that they will text you, but it's for the purpose of interviewing, like scheduling an interview, or, to let you know that you have an assessment you need to complete. Okay, so we all see that. Okay, so it's important that we understand what's okay and what's not okay, and we can't, just throw everything out and say, oh, if it's not email or phone, then it's not legit. No, everyone has their phone glued to their hand, or it's right by their side. That's how they can make sure that everyone who's supposed to move on to the next step hears about their offer to do the next step. It gives them a higher percentage of people who do the next steps, and they are hiring. So they want to make sure that as many people as possible, get through those steps so that they can choose the right candidate. So just keep that in mind, y'all. Not every single thing outside of an email or a phone call is a scam, but never do Telegram, never do WhatsApp, never, ever, 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 ever cash a check. Okay, don't cash any checks. If a company wants you to have equipment, they will send it to you. If a company wants you to have a stipend, they'll direct deposit it to you, something, but you're not cashing any checks. And if for some odd reason They happen to send you a check to cash. Never send it out. But I want us to stay away from cash and checks, okay? Let's just not do anything with the check. Are we on the same page here? It didn't show what I was reading. Did y'all see the screen that I was showing? Did y'all see the screen that I was showing from Humana? Did y'all see the screen that I showed from Humana where it said the texting and stuff? Okay, thank you. Okay. All right, y'all. I have drilled this topic. I have said, don't cash checks, don't get scammed, don't do this, don't do that a million times. I hope that this helps so many people. And I'll probably just, since this is so super, like this is a long live, it's an hour and 40 minutes. Because I know some people are, they want to consume the information quickly, I'll probably take certain pieces of this live and put it into like a short 5 to 8 minute video so that the hot spots are hit and people can know in under 10 minutes, don't fall for these check cashing scams. So that's probably what I'm going to do. So if y'all see this video get posted again shortly, not the full version, but part of it, that is why. Because not everyone's going to sit through, an hour and however much to learn what they need to learn. If I got to get this information out to folks in bite-sized pieces, I will. Because I don't want folks getting taken, advantage of. And by the way, that's another story, but I've fallen for a scam before, but I actually got paid. I did get paid. I'll tell y'all this condensed version, okay? So when I had first started applying for work from home jobs and got hired, this was back in 2016. I'd gotten hired to be an online tutor. That's when I got hired to do that. This was like at the end of June. This is the month of June. And at the end of June, I got hired to be a tutor. Sometime in that in-between time, because I didn't start that job until like a month later at the end of July, I found this online job. I want to say it was on Craigslist. I can't remember. But all I was doing was canceling people's subscriptions. So like I took phone calls through an online thing and people would call and say, I want to cancel my subscription. And so I'd cancel it. And the way I got paid was they had to leave a survey. And the survey had to be something like a 5 or higher, like they press the button on their phone. If the survey was under that, then it took money away from me. So for every good survey, I got paid like $8. So I was racking up the money. But then for all the bad surveys, it took like $20. So you'd have to work your way out of a hole. But I ended up getting paid like a $500 something check. And it was a scam because I never interviewed with anyone. I couldn't find much information about the company. I never saw anybody's face. Everything that they had was just like a Facebook group and a Skype chat. And I mean, it's stupid when I think about it. Like, why? But I'll tell you why. And the training was self-paced. So I remember specifically seeing that I had to provide my bank information and my social security number. I didn't care if it was a scam because I'm like, well, if they want to scam me and take money, they can take like 15 cents from my bank account. So I was willing to take the chance. So when I tell y'all, don't fall for these scams, look at the red flags, I'm not telling y'all from the top of a mountain. I'm telling y'all from having been there before. I didn't care. And half of these folks who know it's too good to be true, they probably felt the same way. They didn't care. But anyway, it was all self-paced learning. it was like through modules. And once I got through the modules, which took me like a few hours, I was able to just start taking phone calls. So I got a headset from Walmart so that I could start taking the phone calls, and people would call. I'd press the button to answer. I'd cancel their subscription because, 90%, no, like 99.5% of people wanted to cancel. I would also get paid if I saved people from canceling, but that rarely happened. So I knew all the money was in the surveys. And I started lying to people. I'll tell the whole thing, y'all. I was lying to people. I was like, yeah, can you leave me a good review? My manager, really takes the survey seriously. So if you could just give me like an 8, I would really appreciate it. And so people would be like, okay, I'll leave you a good survey. What manager? I don't know anyone from this company. And the money really did deposit into my bank account. Now, for everybody who's like, what's the name of this company, Delilah? The company disappeared. Okay, sometime between me actually doing my tutoring training and like me learning what I needed to learn in a legit online job, I came back and I was like, oh, okay, let me take me a few phone calls and make me a few extra dollars. The website doesn't even exist anymore. It's gone. I'm going to Facebook trying to see the group. It's gone. Okay, I'm trying to find them on Skype. Ain't nobody on Skype. This company does not exist. And I mean, it happened fast because I know I was away focused on training for a couple of weeks before I circled back to it. But I couldn't tell you where the company went. It was a scam. Sometimes you actually do make money on a scam, but you don't want to participate in any kind of scam. And this was before I knew any of the stuff that I know that I share with y'all now. This was when it was my rodeo. It was my first rodeo with online jobs. And I'm so thankful that I did not turn down the tutoring opportunity thinking that I'm going to be making this quick, fast, easy money doing, survey or canceling people's subscriptions. I'm very thankful that that thought did not cross my mind. But think about all the people who probably found that job and quit what they had going on because they thought that this was going to be a forever thing. And it went away. I don't even remember all of that. I just remember I had to give them my bank account and my social information. And I remember those two specific things because I was like, should I do this? And I was like, they can take my 15 cents in my bank account. I don't care. So I've fallen for a scam before. Yes, I did get paid, but that was bad. And I don't know who owned the company. I don't know what the company stood for. I don't know any of those things that I always tell y'all to look into. So anyway, I gotta go, y'all. I told y'all the quick version of that story. There's more to it, but all in all, the company just evaporated. And that was a scam, and I've never seen anything like it before. So if y'all are like, Delilah, can you share something like that? No, I cannot, because I've never seen anything like it since. And I wouldn't want y'all to get involved in any of that nonsense. So I hope y'all have a good weekend, and I will talk to y'all soon. You said, but you got paid. See, I should have said, I shouldn't even told the part about me getting paid. I shouldn't even told the part about getting paid because I don't want anybody getting any ideas. I don't want to null and void everything that we just talked about for like the last 2 hours. Don't participate in something like that at all, okay? So y'all have a blessed weekend. Be safe, and I will see you next week. Bye.